All right, we are live. Welcome to the debut episode of the Fins Talk Sports Network post-game show for the Miami Dolphins. I'm your host, Bobby Melendez. Again, you're watching the Fins Talk Sports Network. Hit that like and subscribe button. I got two fine gentlemen with me, Evan Posner, you know him, and a new addition to the Fins Talk Sports Network family, Dustin. We'll start with you, brother. How you doing?
Man, I'm well. It's
welcome, Dustin.
Even with that loss.
That's
welcome.
Right.
Well, we could have won that game easily. We didn't kick that field goal on 4th and 7.
Yeah, the score wasn't important.
Evan, it's been a little while. You were on vacation. You've been traveling. We've been communicating from behind. But first, let's start off with how are you doing? I know it's a loss, but how are you doing otherwise?
Well, the loss doesn't bother me at all. I think this is more to find out what the team is doing. And Mr. Positivity is still positive, but a lot of things to talk about tonight. A lot of eye-opening things. I think we learned a lot about what the team needs to still work on and what our concerns are that they might need to start looking when things start getting when cuts start to happen. Who we might need to pick up and what we still need to improve upon. But this was actually a really important game to learn what was going on with some of the starters there tonight.
Great point. First off, I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. You're watching the post-game show for the Fins Talk Sports Network, Miami Dolphins. Steve, so good to see you, man. As always, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Steve.
Yeah, he doesn't do a show with us, but he is a part of the network, in my opinion. He's part of that Fins Talk family. So, Dustin, since you're new, man, let's start off with you. We haven't had time really. We talked a little bit before about the game, but let's get your instant reaction to this football game. Well, Tua got a chance to play. Tyreek and Jalen did not. Tyreek was a late scratch. He was supposed to play. Terran Armstead did not play. So what is your initial reaction, instant reaction to this football game?
Man, you gotta take a breath, just breathe a little bit. It ain't, it's things will be lost. You never want to lose a game. But honestly, we're all right. I believe in what McDaniels is doing. I think he's a genius for a reason, and he's not going to show that in the preseason. I think we're in good hands. I think we're all right.
So I'm not more worried about Mike McDaniel. I know Evan has an opinion of that. It's a little spoiler, but we're going to get right to him on that. But I will just say, and it seemed like a different offense through all three phases. You had Tua's offense, you had Teddy's offense, and then you had Skyler. Tua, the way the play calling was going, it looked more like it was in my opinion. What's up, Cap for life?
What's up, Cap?
It seemed more of like protecting him, not trying to do too much to make him force it, even though it did look like he was a little lost at some points, but Tua looked like Tua. That might change in the regular season because Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, Terran Armstead.
Sure.
So it's preseason, right? Teddy, I like Teddy before he's a Dolphins quarterback. We have to see how he does. This is his first game in a Dolphins uniform. And Evan said it best to me, Jacoby Brissett, so it kind of reminded me. But in Skylar Thompson, 2 games in a row. I don't care if it's second stringers, third stringers, whatever. The offense looked more freer. It looked like McDaniel was getting more daring. Izukama was putting his stamp on that 53 at that 5 receivers, whatever, how many we keep.
Yeah.
Tell me, man, what do you think of the quarterback situation right now, especially number 2 with Teddy and Skyler? Is Skyler actually pushing Teddy, Dustin? And what do you think of the receivers right now with Izukama right now, the rookie?
I mean, how can you not be stoked? We haven't even seen the full result yet. We've not seen Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the field yet. Really, we've seen them in practice and stuff like that, and that's awesome. But you've got Sanders who's doing some stuff, and Ikuzama who is straight up just honestly, he looks like a man amongst boys at times. You see him out there, and these guys are they're kind of coming in with these arm tackles, and he's breaking through them, and you have to like that. As a football fan in general, I don't care if you're a Dolphins fan or not, you have to like that kind of tenacity behind him, because man, he's special. I don't care what round we took him in, dude's special. I'll throw my hand out there, let everybody see it. I'm not a huge Teddy Bridgewater fan. I think he's certainly got his merits, but I would like to see I would like to see us by whatever means keep Skyler. I think later on, if we wind up cutting this guy, we're going to regret it. We're going to regret it. We'll look back a couple weeks from now when he's signed with another team, and we're going to think, man, we've shot ourselves in the foot, which we've done from time to time.
I think you're right. And I'll just say this, Dolphins Realtor, as always, thank you for tuning in, brother. We appreciate you. Cat for Life, he says Skyler made some great throws. Or excuse me, that was Dolphins Realtor. You got to admit everything open up with Skyler. That's my point, too, in regards to Skyler Thompson. You know, he had an underthrown pass that was just an amazing catch by Easy. I mean, amazing catch. He's putting his stamp. Easy, you know, I would say maybe that fourth wide receiver spot. Braylon Sanders looked good. Lynn Bowden, you know, it's going to be hard. It's a hard decision incoming for Chris Greer on that wide receivers room. But then when it comes to that quarterback room, not a lot of teams keep 3 quarterbacks. The Dolphins might be forced to, unless they can find a way to trade Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know if they'll cut him because, as Dustin brought up before the show, it's that $6 million cap hit. No, Easy is for real. And again, Tua wasn't bad. He wasn't good either. It's preseason, right? And you got to judge preseason for what it is, but you can't say it's nothing. You can't pretend, oh, it's just preseason. This guy's not here, blah, blah, blah. No, you know, it was same old. And, you know, people could say, oh, where Terran Armstead didn't start on the offensive line, but he's the only one who didn't start on that offensive line. So how much of a difference is that going to make? Because, Evan, I'm going to go to you on this one, brother. The offensive line was a huge problem last year. I have not seen anything that could tell me otherwise that it is any better than it was last year. Armstead might give you something, but I don't know how much. Tell me what you thought about this offensive line.
The offensive line tonight for me was very concerning, and I'm Mr. Positive, and I still see where they can improve, but I don't get the scheme. I don't get the blocking. I don't get the setup. Connor Williams is scaring me to death. Put him back at left guard yesterday. I don't care. Yeah. Dieter made some horrible plays in the fourth quarter, but at least he can snap the ball. Like, he can actually get it straight, not 8 out of 10 times, and maybe go pick up another center. But the guy is not a center, Connor Williams, no matter how hard you try to make him one. We did that last year. You tried to fit a square peg in a round hole. It does not work. I did see some movement at moments, but I'm very concerned about the offensive line. Terran Armstead will help it, but until I start seeing the running game is my biggest problem in tying to the offensive line. Like, honestly, when I'm looking and I see White and I see Ahmed playing better than Gaskin and playing better than Sony Michel. Like, Sony Michel reminds me of Malcolm Brown of last year. Like, there, how were you guys not cringing when we were second down and we couldn't get 1 yard on 3rd and 1, and on 4th and 1 we couldn't get a yard. Like, this was like repeat of Flo's offense. I said to you guys on Twitter that I felt like that McDaniels in the first half was carrying Flores' offensive playbook. It was really hard to watch. It was like a repeat of last year, and then all of a sudden it's slow and steady, and then we wake up in the second half. And I'm not concerning about the win; I'm concerning about the development. But no, I didn't see anything great. Eichenberg wasn't special. Robert Jones was not great. Larnell Coleman is the Larnell Coleman that we all know. They're trying to make him into the backup left tackle behind Terran Armstead. He will not be. So honestly, they better figure this out. They don't have a third backup tackle. They better figure that one out, and they better figure out the center game. Like, the offensive scheme was going north. The offensive scheme for me today, especially at the running, was going north-south, and it was not working. And then, oh my God, watching Gesicki block. I once made a boo-boo and said he was a blocker when we first started talking, Bobby. Oh my God, that guy cannot block. I will not sign him. If McDaniels is the long-term solution at coach, he can catch 100 balls. Sorry, Miss Finns. Gesicki's gone. $10 million franchise tag or not, he is not being re-signed for $15 million or $12 or $13 million by this team.
I think Miss Finns is coming around to that friend of the show. If you guys
he cannot block.
Subscribe to her channel. But again, you guys are watching the Finns Talk Sports Network. Hit that like and subscribe button.
That's my concern with the offensive line. The running game could
Dustin,
not move.
Of course, Bobby here. Alex Atia Chiska is producing the show for me tonight. But no, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing that was kind of took me aback a little bit, you know. And again, that's why I thought, was he protecting Tua by not really opening up that playbook? Because I agree with you, it seemed like the same version of offense from last year, and I could understand people saying, "Hey, you know what? This guy's not starting. This guy's not playing." But other than that, that's the starting offense. And yes, Tyreek is going to have a thing. But if Tua doesn't have time to throw, it's going to be the same thing. And then you put Teddy in there. Teddy, gets bum rushed. He throws the ball away, trying to just kind of save from a safety and causes a safety. I mean, and then, he's a veteran, former first-round pick, and he looks like a rookie. And then you get Skylar Thompson 2 games in a row. And look, I don't care about the loss. It's not about the loss. It's preseason, guys. Yeah. What I care is about the player development and how they look in the field. And you're absolutely right, Barton. Thank you for tuning in, brother. Preseason is for figuring these problems out. Yeah. Hopefully we do. You're absolutely right. That's why, like, for instance, offensive line. The only starter on the offensive line that did not play tonight was Armstead. That was the only one. Other than that, everyone else, whether it's Williams at guard or center, everyone else is pretty much the same. And it wasn't good. So, and then let's go here very quick. Let's jump. We'll go back to the offense what we talked about with the playbook, because, again, when Thompson was out there, and Teddy Bridgewater too, but more Thompson, the offense looked a little more freer, looked a lot more energy. And again, I've said it. Thompson has that. Skylar Thompson has some Fitzpatrick in him. Ryan Fitzmagic. In my opinion, the way he throws the ball, he did underthrow that ball to Izukama, and Izzy came up with a beautiful catch. But other than that, I mean, this dude is getting it in the right spot. He's commanding the huddle. I mean, this guy's a rookie. The way he talked to White, and then White caught the touchdown right after. I mean, there's something there. And I don't think people are overhyping it. I think it's passing the eye test. But let's go to the defensive side of the ball, Evan.
Yeah.
Nick Needham, he looked good.
Yeah.
He's been impressive, undrafted free agent a couple years back, but he continues to impress. He's obviously could be that third corner, but he dislocated his finger, it looks like. So hopefully it's not that big of an injury, because the depth on the cornerback position is pretty scary, especially when you have somebody like our first round pick, Noah Ibenagany, still being a no-show. So tell me what you're thinking about the defense in general, but also the secondary.
I'll make my way back. So I'm not worried about the safety position. I think with Holland and Jones, I think we'll be fine. Howard is going to be fine. If Needham's healthy, I'll feel okay. I'm okay. I'm actually comfortable with Crossan. I thought he was okay. I think as a third or fourth option, I think Mackenzie Alexander is going to be fine. I think he was reasonable today. Kohu is going to be a great practice squad player. I think he played well tonight, but then he sort of showed his warts in the fourth quarter. I got his name right. See, I figured out his name. I always pick on you about that, but I am concerned about the depth there, because I feel like it was just a comedy of errors with the injuries today. The linebacker crew, I'm happy Ingram didn't play, but I'm looking forward to having him back in the defensive scheme, because I'd like to see him play with this defense. Tyndall, played well. I can see his speed. But I think he doesn't have that instinct yet. I think he's still a little young. Good. I like. He'll be a good player there. Porter Gustin, who had no idea who he was, played a very good game tonight. But the starters like Ogba, Phillips was okay when he came around. He was they were nothing special. They were there at the beginning and they played okay. There was nothing to write home about. But what my main concern was, which I talked about in the verse of our offense, is why is it that this team seems to make these big plays, but on thirds downs they crumble. Like they do well on first down, they do well on second down, and then all of a sudden on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and long, they give up these plays. They're playing like they're trying to play not to give up the touchdown, and that's my fear. And then the linebacker crew in the second half, I was not impressed with. I feel like they were opening the floodgates, like they were doing what our offensive line should have been doing for our running backs tonight. If we were playing that north-south, not zone blocking offense. But overall, I'm okay with our defense. But it was more the bend, not break, 1-7 defense that I saw.
There it is.
That's what it was. It was the bend, not break. Hopefully we give up a field goal. But like if you look at what happened, Skylar Thompson made this great drive down with White, and then all of a sudden on one big play, because they're playing like way too deep, because they're willing to give up, and like to use the analogy in the single, they don't want to give up the home run or the triple, so they're willing to give up the single or the double. And that's how the defense was playing tonight. And I feel like that if that's Boyer's plan, and we don't figure out our offensive points, like as we always said, last year we averaged 17 points. We need to average 27 this year. And if we can't, and if the defense is going to keep on doing what they're doing, where they're playing back and playing like sort of just not to give up the touchdown, that's my main concern. I feel like they're going to be okay, but maybe with Ingram in, and when we have our full lineup there, and Wilkins will be playing. But I got a little concerned in the second half with the bend not break type of defense, and that's what my main concern is.
Yeah, and you know what? And you're hitting the nail on the head, and that is the hope, right? I know for everybody who's watching this offensive line struggle, they're watching the corners, the linebackers, they're saying, hey, you know what? Not everybody's playing right now. Maybe when we do get Tyreek and Jalen and Armstead and Ingram and this guy, that it's going to look a lot better. But that was my concern. Dolphins Realtor said it, is that, and I've said it before, are we going to get the first half of the season last year defense that was terrible? Or are we going to get that second half defense? Dustin, Gesicki, that's the other thing. Gesicki played way longer than expected in this game, and he didn't look that impressive. Missed blocks. He did drop that ball with Tua, but that was more, I think, on Tua than it was on Gesicki. And I'm not knocking Tua. It's just what I think. He was blanketed on that play. However, I did find it kind of weird that he played that long into the game. And me and Brett Legassi, co-host of mine on Overtime, host of Huddle Up and Wait, exactly what Steve is saying.
Steve,
I told him, I said, dude, isn't it a little weird that Gesicki's playing this long? And he said the same thing. He goes, trade bait? I go, that's what I'm thinking. So let me ask you, what are you thinking about Gesicki, the way he fits in this offense, and what you saw today? Could he be actually traded before the season?
I think that's a possibility, right? I mean, you have to put everything on the table. I think he doesn't fit the scheme the way that we wanted him to, for sure. I think we could safely say that. We wanted him to, when McDaniels came in, we wanted him to come in and be the George Kittle and come in and take the lion's share of those targets. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to play itself out that way. And honestly, when I was kind of putting together some work for the show, I was just kind of taking down some general notes as I was going through the system here, and every highlight that I've seen from training camp of Durham Smythe looks good. Which, I mean, that's probably going to be the case. They're not going to highlight the bad stuff, and unless you're CBS Sports, but you've got something in Durham Smythe that may actually be a closer fit to what you're looking for. Gesicki is that's a big contract for a 1-year deal. They might be looking to go ahead and get rid of him. And honestly, we need the help. If we can find something at a reasonable trade offer, I hate to see him go. I love Gesicki, but
I do too.
Got to do what you got to do.
Now, very quick, Dustin, I'll stay with you, brother. Just trying to see if I can see some numbers on here. But Jason Sanders, he's been looking good so far, but he did miss that game winner. Are you concerned?
No, honestly, we know what we have in Jason Sanders. I think he'll be just fine. I, again, wouldn't put a whole lot of stake into that. He's had a good year and kind of a down year. You kind of see that, from time to time. And I think, there's no reason to believe otherwise. I mean, he's been pretty solid. Even when he's done poor, he doesn't stay poor for long. So, again, I wouldn't sweat that too much.
Evan, I saw you had an opinion on the Gesicki situation and what we were discussing. What do you think about Gesicki, how long he played, and possible trade option?
I think they played because I don't think that McDaniel or sees how he's going to fit into his scheme. And if $10 million, let's see what we really can get out of him. See if he can block. See if he can just be part of this team. And for $10 million on the cap, I would trade him and then try to go get another veteran somewhere, even if you get a draft pick. But at this point, I'd rather have develop a Hunter Long on this offense and turn him into a blocker. We know what Gesicki is, and I'd rather carry 2 tight ends versus 3 tight ends and carry 6 wide receivers. I'd rather carry more wide receivers because in theory, we always said that Gesicki is more of a wide receiver than he is a tight end to begin with. So I'd rather carry more wide receivers and trade Gesicki. I like him a lot, but I don't feel he has. I think he had the magic with Fitzmagic. I don't think he has the connection and the chemistry with Tua. I don't think he has it. And that's what I noticed tonight. Like, I don't think there's that instant chemistry that they had last year or this year. Like, if you saw last year, his security blanket was Waddle. He hardly ever went to Gesicki. So for me, I'm not a fan. I'm not that big of a fan. The way if they're going to move into that new scheme and that new design, and we want to develop, I don't think we need Gesicki anymore.
Interesting. Okay. So now, excuse me. So guys, it's 2 games. Yes, it's preseason. We all get that, right? You know, you could be 0, which Dolphins are 1-1, but you could be 0-3 now. It used to be 0-4. You could be 0-3 and then go 13-3 in the regular season, make the playoffs, right? However, after what you've seen so far, and Evan, you saw the team at training camp.
Yep.
You pointed out some stuff before we saw them. Now we've seen 2 games of these guys. Has anything changed in regards of expectations for this football team? And then Dustin, you can follow up. But Evan, anything expectation-wise, have you kind of came back down to earth? You know, have you kind of said, okay, this is still kind of an issue. It's not going to be that deep in the playoffs. You know, what's your feelings right now on this team?
Remember what I said to you, and I remember you and I had this funny conversation that, would I take consistency over – thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Get him on the show. We'll have to convince him to come on the show one day. But no, I would – honestly, I was that guy who said I'd rather have consistency over the next 4 or 5 seasons and reach that Super Bowl in the second and have the chance to reach Super Bowl in the 3rd and 4th year than win it this year. The reason why is because of what I'm seeing right now. And what I see right now is – we have speed on the wide receiver core. We potentially have great running backs, but the core of our team, which is still unsure. I told you, Tua, it's a hit or miss. I'm positive on Tua because I think he'll have the tools to do it. But right now, that center of our team, whether that offensive line, I don't understand it. My goal when I was watching training camp, there was movement. So Dustin mentioned something great before the show. This has to be a smokescreen. Because this is not the offensive line scheme that McDaniel ran in San Francisco. So what is he doing here? Because the one thing about preseason, yes, it's just developing your players. But if this is how they're going to be, you also have to try out the new scheme. You can't just save it for training camp. You actually have to go against competition to be able to try it out to see if it works. You can't wait to face Bill Belichick and the Patriots in game 1. He'll sniff that out in 2 seconds, and we'll get crushed and embarrassed in week 1. You have to figure that out. And for me, that's my number one concern. Like when I see that Larnell Coleman playing the way he was, everyone talked about how great he was against Tampa. He was awful tonight. Kinley, what is he? Eichenberg, nothing special. Like I said, Connor Williams, he cannot snap a ball. Get him back to left guard and put Dieter there and go get Treader. I'm going to keep on saying it. If you can't go get Treader, go get another center. And I posted a picture on Twitter. I'm sure you all laughed. Jason Taylor, who we love. It's such a pleasure to listen to him during CBS 4 broadcast today that I got to listen to. That Greer must have been scouting the players during the halftime, the little kids, those Gators who were running around the field having a great time. They had more offensive prowess than our team tonight. There was McDaniel scouting them during the half. Honestly, like that's my number one thing is that if they're not trying it now, what are they going to do next week when Hurts is facing Tua? The whole controversy is going to be, why didn't we draft Hurts over Tua during a preseason game? Like it's going to be funny next week. So, and they're going to have Devontae Smith. Like that's the one thing is that the only thing that will give me a little more confidence, and I'm a positive guy. I still think they're going to be great this season. Is this has to be a smokescreen? This has to be a joke, or we have to see Waddle and Hill next week.
Okay, so Dustin,
to see what it does. Like we need to see our real team next week because if not, if this is what it potentially is, and this is really what it potentially is, I do have concerns on the offensive line because Armstead is not going to overturn 4 players. He can't be 5 players across the line.
Okay, so let me say this. So obviously, I know you're concerned after what you've seen, but you're like Dustin had brought up, and then Dustin, you're gonna go ahead and respond and give your take in a second. Sure. But you were, but even though you're concerned, your silver lining is that it's preseason. This has to be a smokescreen. It's not gonna look like this.
No.
Okay, Dustin, follow up.
So I'm the one who kind of had that thought behind that, and honestly, I think.
Thanks for stealing it, Evan.
I gave him credit. I gave him credit before I said it. I gave him credit.
But you're good in my book, man.
I gave you credit.
The concern that I have, and he's right. McDaniel knows exactly what he's got. He's absolutely correct. But you've got somebody under center who doesn't belong under center.
No.
And we are running a zone run scheme, which is predicated on a lot of movement from the center position. They are barking out calls. They're basically a quarterback under those circumstances. My concern is that we may be running into a little bit of a problem there. Unless we figure something out, again, I think you do have to temper expectations a little bit. I do genuinely believe that this is all just vanilla play calling to get us through so that we can see what we have to build off of that. But if we don't fix the problem at center, we're going to be done for. We're not going to there's no way that we can contend with Buffalo. And let's be honest, that's the only other team in the division that we're going to have a huge problem out of. Belichick is set to explode. The Jets are probably going to underperform. But the Bills, there's no earthly way that we keep up with their defense or their offense playing the style of run scheme that we saw today or last week. It can't happen. 5 yards a quarter, not going to cut it, period. No matter who's back there. You could go get Derrick Henry and he may get you 10. You know what I mean? But if he's getting blew up by step 2, what good is that going to do? We have to do something. If we don't do that, then again, temper expectations, maybe 6 wins after the 0-4 start is probably what that would be.
Dang.
Sorry.
All right,
Mic
Dustin
drop.
with the heat.
Mic
This is
drop.
Dustin's first night on the Fitz Talk Sports
bro.
Network, and he is coming with
fired up.
fire.
Wait a second. I see Brett Lagasse behind him somewhere. I think I see him somewhere.
So I have to do this. I'm going to bring in my producer for tonight's show, Alex, for a second, because him, like Evan, is a very more, he's a little bit of a homer, more than you a little bit. He always sees the good in everything. You could be dying from a big thing up here, and I was well, at least
Should
you
I still
this
wave
side
this
of your
thing?
neck. Yeah. So, but Alex, I know you're in there. Pop your head in there. Dustin, you're fired. Steve, nah, he's all right.
I'm out. See you guys later.
Guys, this is Alex Atiachiska, host of the Goon Squad, my best friend and brother. Alex, producing the show, but I'm going to bring your butt in here for a second because you were texting me earlier. Listen to Mr. I'm gonna put him on fire for a second, but I just want to see because don't judge offense until we see everything unleashed. Hill, Waddle, Mozart right now is battle for depth. Yeah, he has that swag. He's talking about Skylar Thompson and that capability to step up Brady like when Bledsoe went down. I go, you can judge offense. Offensive line was bad. This is my response to him. We haven't seen a down of the full starting unit. Good argument points. Blah, blah. He says run blocking looks like to be an issue, but pass protection has been good, so I've seen. So, Alex.
Okay.
Very quick. You had all that. So, very quick. You've seen tonight. You saw last week. You're very high on this football team. I think most everybody is with the weapons and everything. But after seeing what you've seen the last couple of weeks, same question I gave to Evan and Dustin, have you tampered down your expectations, or are you still like, you know what? There's the silver lining. Has to be a smokescreen, like Evan says. We haven't seen everybody. This is still going to be a damn good football team next year, this coming season.
Yeah, I'm not simmering down any expectations because I do feel exactly like Dustin. I do believe that right now it's a battle for the depth. So you have to see who wants it more, who's going to make this team, who is going to be your unit if any of your starters go down. But until you see Waddle and Hill line up on the same side of the field, and the defense have to react to that, I'm not going to temper any expectations. But I will take into account, me personally, what Dustin said is true. The center situation, I'm not worried about the whole O-line in general. But the center situation, to me, it's a little bit concerning because I know what they're trying to do with Connor Williams. He's probably the best athlete, one of the best athletes on that line. But if the communication is not going to be right, if the communication is not going to be on point with Tua and the whole line itself, the depth of the line, if it's not going to be a fully functional line, You need to find your solution now. You can wait in the middle of the season. But you said this season could go out of control pretty soon, pretty quick. So that's something that is the one concerning thing to me that I saw preseason wise for the last 2 games, honestly. But I'm not going to simmer down any expectations because McDaniel knows what he's doing. He knows the weapons that he has. He sees that every day in training camp against their defense, which their defense is probably top notch in the NFL. So I'm not worried at all. Just like you said, the center situation, you want to get that clarified before the season starts.
All right. Evan did not like your answer, so he left. He said,
just
no.
left.
You guys literally kicked me out.
You see, when I'm talking about producing, things like this happen.
It went away. I came back pretty quickly. Come on.
That's great.
No, but honestly, I just want to tell you something. I want to give a great analogy. Putting Connor Williams at center is like putting Lynn Bowden as our starting quarterback. Or if you want to do something a little tighter, it's like picking Brian Tannehill a quarterback when he was a former wide receiver. I always like to throw that in there. Honestly, it's really the biggest mistake they're making. And honestly, that's why I'm very low right now. That's my biggest annoyance with McDaniel, Bobby, is that I don't get why he's doing what Flo tried to do last year. Put people in the best positions to succeed. And right now we're August. We're 3 weeks away from the beginning of the season, and you're still having Connor Williams as your starting center. I don't get it. And I don't care about I don't care if he's an NFLPA president or not. Bring frickin' Shredder in. If you have to trade Gesicki and give him $5 million, I don't care what you have to do, but get some depth in that center position. He is as if he's the quarterback of the offensive line. Even if Armstead's the left tackle, you need someone who can snap a ball, who has experience. You need a veteran person. You need a veteran center to help Tua. And I will tell you that Tua right now may not succeed, and I will blame the center if he continues Connor Williams at the center position. Honestly, on the second snap of the game, Tua literally almost had to jump 10 feet in the air to catch a ball. Like if he can't figure this out at practice, and in the games he's throwing these high snaps, and then Dieter, poor Skylar Thompson with those 2 awful snaps, that has me very, very concerned. Honestly, like that's the center position is my number one concern on the team, and it's going to continue to be.
Yeah.
Until they fix it. Like they're trying to put a Band-Aid on something that's been a problem for years, and they won't do it. I don't understand what Greer's problem is there. That's what, like Brett was saying on Twitter tonight, like he has issues with Greer. I have no issues with Greer in terms of what he did drafting this year. I understand there's issues with Austin Jackson, there's a big issues with Noah, but right now he's filled in all the necessary holes with Armstead, with Hill, and he went to get Wilson, and he went to get Ingram. Great, all wonderful. But if you don't fix the center position, which we know has been a problem all offseason, that's a problem. That's a very big problem. I don't care how many people you bring in. You can bring in as many Tyreek Hills as you want. If the Tua doesn't have time to catch the ball, or doesn't have time to actually properly catch it, we're in deep trouble. That perspective on the center position.
I'm going to say just one thing before I leave, and I'll leave you guys up for this. If we do continue with Connor or Dieter, if you have hiking problems, do you see more shotgun formations to alleviate this situation early on?
No, I see more. I see behind the center, so at least they can field the ball.
At least
the shotgun snaps are the problem.
Yeah. I agree with you, Evan. Now to respond to you in regards to the offensive line, in regards to McDaniel and showing a little Brian Flores by putting people in. Again, that was a little. First of all, I'm not worried yet in regards to McDaniel. Again, and this was my issue about hiring him though, was because he's a rookie coach. He is trying, he's trying to figure out how to call what works, what doesn't work, and it's preseason. You can do that right now.
Yeah.
And I do, this. You're the historian of the group. You know what I said, and when I said it, you'll hold me accountable. But I wasn't for hiring a rookie head coach.
No.
I wanted a veteran head coach, Dan Quinn, Jim Harbaugh, whoever that may be.
Jim Caldwell, yeah.
Jim Caldwell, it was Doug Peterson, because we've gone through so many rookie coaches already: Flores, Gase, Philbin, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the only difference between those guys and McDaniel, Alex was actually the one who sent me the interview with Dan Lepetard, the second one. If you guys haven't seen it, again, I'm going to tell you, everybody who's watching right now, do yourself a favor. Go see the most recent interview with Dan Lepetard and Mike McDaniel, where they just at Dolphins facilities. Excuse me. where Dolphin facilities, where he had that interview with Dan Lepertard, that the way he spoke, it's a different feel. It's more, I don't know how to say that. I'm trying to say the more human, how he talks about the people not only on the field, the players, but he's talking about the people at the facilities and whatever. I believe in this guy, and I believe in his vision so far. I believe that he's doing his best with the right staff. Now, the defense might be a problem, or defensive staff. Well, give him this run year to see what he can do with this offensive staff, and then next year he can hire his defensive staff. Trying to figure out the offensive line. I'm not really worried about that, because I think it doesn't matter if you put Connor Williams at left guard with Terran Armstead, whoever you put at center, tackle, all that one. I do not have confidence in this offensive line right now. The Dolphins receiver unit is beautiful. It is, it's sexy. It's all that. Tyreek, Jalen, Izukama, Cedric Wilson, Lynn Bowden if he stays, but his value is going up. Braylon Sanders, Mohamed Sanu. It's unlimited amount of weapons right now for the Dolphins. Whoever's playing quarterback, of course, Tua's starting. So, I think you're right, or I think Dustin's right. He popped off, but he'll be back, I'm sure, in a second. But is that we're not seeing it's a smoke screen right now, But offensive line, I don't think that's a smoke screen. I think that's a problem.
No, like I said to you, you use a famous line all the time. We're a quarterback away from being successful. We are a center away, a veteran center away from being successful. I'm telling you, if Hunt is at right, if you put Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, I understand it's his blind side. At right tackle, you pick all the depth in the world to figure out who your right tackle is. Put Kellen Deach, whatever you want. Put whoever you want at right tackle. If you have three veterans between Williams at left guard, Armstead at left tackle, and a Treader type of at center, my level of confidence in this running game and in this offense will be completely different. We all talked about how they brought in two. He forgot one, and that's my number one thing. I honestly think we're a center away from our offense and our offensive scheme moving along. Honestly, look, and also the reason why I like Treader as an option is because where was he last year? Was one of the number one running games in football with the Browns with Hunt and Chubb. He knows what he's doing in this scheme. I understand his needs, but bring in somebody. Just bring in a veteran. I want someone to at least compete for the last few weeks for this spot, because you're running out of time. And if on game one, unless we see some magic in the fourth game of the preseason, I'm always going to be looking at center. My guys aren't going to be anywhere else. Every single snap is literally going to be staring at that center position to see. I'm waiting for Dieter or Williams at center to mess up, and that's not how I want to feel about my team, because I feel comfortable at every other position, even at the thinness of our defensive backs right now with Jones out. I think if Needham is healthy, if Crossan is there, if Mackenzie Alexander is there, if Xavier Howard is there, if Byron Jones is there, if Javon Holland's there, I'm okay with our defense. They'll figure it out. I think that's the veteran presence. But right now, our offensive line was our problem last year, and it's still our problem this year. And I think it's bothering me. It's one player. It's literally one veteran player away, and I'll feel better. And I'm Mr. Positive. Think about it. I'm one veteran player away, and I feel a lot better.
I'm two players away, and you know that. So
I know you're a quarterback away. I know that. But look at Skylar Thompson. At least there's something to look forward to there. If Tua struggles, like I said, for me, Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know about this. I want to get this out. Do not sign quarterbacks who are from Miami to play for Miami. You did that with Jacoby Brissett. It didn't work. Look at Teddy Bridgewater tonight. And if he continues to play with those gloves in the heat, he wants to wear them in Chicago. He wants to wear them in Baltimore. He wants to wear them anywhere else he can wear them. But to wear them in Miami in 90-degree heat and think that he's going to grab the football and be able to throw it, even when he was throwing those beautiful passes tonight, those lobs I was worried because I thought, are those going to be underthrown? He's not throwing with prowess. Then you see Skylar Thompson whipping the ball. At least Tua maybe had a little bit. He was doing his typical short slants today, but at least he was gunning the ball. Teddy Bridgewater was lobbing the ball. There was no power behind it. So for me, like I said, yes, we still have to figure out what's going on with Tua this year. He was okay. He did what he needed to. We'll see how he does with Waddle and Hill. But right now, preseason, I'm still believing this team, but we're a center away, and that's what I noticed tonight. Because also the center leads the offense, and
Look
the
at that
running
handsome
game.
man down there, Ralphie boy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I agree with him. I understand, but right now, like I said, when Izukama had more rushing, I know it's the preseason, had more receiving yards as a rookie, just playing in the second half, than our running game has had in 2 games across 5 or 6 people. I have a problem. But also to get the throws in here, I couldn't believe I was actually going to say this. If someone told me tomorrow, would you keep Salvin Ahmed on your team or would you keep Myles Gaskin? I saw more from Ahmed the last 2 games than I saw from Gaskin. I keep Ahmed over Gaskin.
Oh, I find that interesting. I think Gaskin's looked pretty good.
Not
Dustin,
tonight. Not tonight.
Dustin, you have you've been in and out. I know it's been a little whack, but you've been waiting
Yeah.
patiently, man. Let me ask. So, do you have any response to what they're saying before I move to the next question? What Alex?
Honestly, I think Brett was the one who had mentioned this on Twitter that with Gaskin, you're at least getting some consistency. I don't know how great that is because what is consistency if it's a yard and a half?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again, I'll level with you. Love Gaskin, love Ahmed. I hope we find a way to keep all of them. The one that I'm genuinely I'm just amped to see happen real time in a real game where it matters. Chase Edmonds.
Yeah.
Chase Edmonds out in a wheel route is going to be so dangerous with everything else we've got. My gosh, I can't wait. I'm jazzed up, dude. I'm ready to see that take place. Just because it's going to give defenses fits. I would love to see. Like I said, I would love to see them find a way to stay here in this team. But if Ahmed goes, that stinks. But we have Gaskin. If Gaskin goes, that stinks. We have Ahmed.
Yeah.
And both of them bring something kind of similar to the table.
Let me just do full disclosure here because people see me making faces. My youngest, my baby, 11-month-old daughter is on the side there, so she just came out. So I'm giving little faces to her. So
all right.
I don't want you to think Dustin's
I thought they were at me.
Yeah, I thought Dustin was like Dustin. I see Dustin going. And anyway,
bro, I'm feeling special.
Man, Bobby said I'd be local, but not like that. No, but but so all right. But first off, guys, you're watching the post game show, Dolphins post game here on the FinSock Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. I appreciate everyone tuning in right now. You got Evan. You got Dustin, myself, Bobby FinStalk. Of course, you got Alex Atiachiska, who came on, and he is producing the show for me tonight. But here, guys, as we're on the 43-minute mark, Dustin, I'm going to start with you, and then Evan, I want you guys, because we're going to do this on overtime with 3, but I want, Dustin, if you could give me, we're going to do studs and duds. Give me one stud of the game and one dud of the game.
All right. Since I've got the first one, I'll so for studs, I'm going defense across the board, and this is something I had wrote down in my notes as well. Van Ginkel on more than just a few plays, it seems like he was getting through the line. You were seeing him just break through from the get-go, which is what you want out of his position. I can't wait to see that dude in real time too. But for my dud, man, I gotta go with Igbo. Man, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed across the board, not just because he was a first-round bust, in my opinion, but because this guy, honestly, again, he's doing is making more and more tape for himself that's kind of letting everybody see that he's getting left in the dust. He's at least 2 steps behind on most plays. There was one right after the Needham injury. There was one play that he was on a one-on-one, and it was a pretty solid outing on his part. Other than that, every other take that I saw from this dude was just kind of hot garbage. I'm really disappointed.
I like that. No, and you know what? I think you're right on. Evan, same question, brother. Who's your one stud and one dud of the game?
I'll do the dud first, and you'll be surprised what I'm going to say because I've been ripping the offensive line. The play was just defined. Bridgewater was awful on that play when he threw the safety, but who missed that block? Mike Gesicki. He played 3/4 of a game, and I saw more from Hunter Long on one play than I saw from him in 3/4. So Gesicki for me is a dud beyond belief so far in the first 2 preseason games, just the way our offensive is. And then if you want me, because he did all defense, it has to be Izukama because just of the confidence that he showed, it was Waddle-esque. as a rookie. And it was just something that was very pleasurable to see, because what he did is what Waddle did. He did for Thompson tonight what Waddle did for Tua last year. No matter what, when Tua needed something, a play, he was always there. He'd make underthrown balls, whatever it was. And that's where I stand. Like, honestly, he made Skylar Thompson. He basically guaranteed Skylar Thompson's job on the 53-man roster. If it was in doubt last week, it surely ain't in doubt this week. And he also solidified, I think he's the fourth receiver no matter what. Like, he 100%. Like, he's I would be terrified if I was McDaniel. I would love to have. I play 4 receiver wide. Like, I'd literally go nuts. Just drive. You think it's an offensive thing? Like, have 1 wide receiver in the back and have 4 wide receivers going crazy. I don't care what you need to do. But honestly, no, though, I'm very impressed by him. Like, honestly, like, we'll get his name right. We're going to get it perfect. But this guy's name is going to be on the highlight reel all season. He's going to be phenomenal. He's going to make one of those plays. Like, Preston Williams lost his job tonight, because like, he definitely lost his job tonight.
He lost his job for the season.
No, but he for sure lost his job tonight. He was probably crying tonight. But no, but
like I said, was an opportunity.
Week, like, I honestly, one thing that was interesting to see tonight.
Right.
One person I was actually I don't know if he's not ready to play. What would be interesting to see with the offensive tonight, which I'd like to see, is yours and my sleeper player. I really want to see the blocking with Ingold. I want to see how he can be utilized. We haven't seen the fullback yet, and I hope they utilize that next week. Like, and if Hill's not ready to play, put Waddle in next week. They need to at least give one. If they're going to put 2 on the field, give him at least one of his 1 or 2 receivers and his fullback, to see how that offense develops. Like, I hope they sprinkle that in next week and don't wait till the last week of the preseason to do it.
So do you guys
is Armstead not play? Sorry, man, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go, brother.
Is he not playing because of
he's a veteran.
Maintenance?
Him and Ingram.
Okay.
Him and Ingram are just pure maintenance. Pure maintenance.
Okay. Right on. Okay. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something lingering with him.
So
no.
It's the final preseason game next week. Do you guys predict that Tua and the starters minus 1 or 2 start next week?
You want to go first, Dustin? You want me to go?
I'll let you go, man.
I personally think that I the only people I don't see I do see potentially Mostert not playing again if they want to give him one more. Armstead will not see the preseason. I do think, if I had to flip a coin, I don't think Hill will play, but I think Waddle will, and I think Ingold will. I just don't think they need to play. If they play great, but after seeing the last thing I want, they better play not more than one 3 downs. They better not play more than one. But I do not more than one series. Thanks for correcting me. But no, I don't want to see Howard on there. I don't want to see Ingram. Honestly, just keep them safe. After seeing the comedy of errors that happened on the defense tonight, when we saw Crossan got injured at one point and Needham, we don't want injuries before the season starts. We cannot afford that. Like, literally, we thought it was a comedy of errors tonight. Like, honestly, I thought every person on the defensive secondary was going to get injured tonight the way they were going in the first half.
Dustin, what do you think? You think we're going to see some starters next week?
Yeah, I honestly, I kind of agree with him a little bit. I think we'll maybe see a series or 2. I don't think, again, I genuinely, we've said everything that we've said up until this point. I do genuinely believe that McDaniels is running just as minimal of an offense as he can run. Even defense, I think he's probably holding a lot back as far as scheme is concerned. I think we've got a lot of unanswered questions on defense as far as depth is concerned. So I don't think that they're gonna keep a bunch of people out there and risk getting them hurt, which I'm on board for. Let's save this up for New England. Let's go smack them in the mouth.
All right, and then but we're pretty sure that Miami's still the second best team in this division right now, realistically. Buffalo, Miami, New England, Jets.
Yeah,
is that about right?
Absolutely.
But the one thing we haven't seen, which I wanted to bring up at the end, where is that? That's the one thing that's still the smoke screen. Where is the yak? We've yet to see any slants with a continued movement across the line to actually get extra yards, and that's the one thing.
Smoke screen.
Has to be a smoke screen, because I think that's one thing that they got that the Raiders had tonight. There was yak. That's one thing they were killing us on, is they were converting these 5-yard passes into 25, 30-yard gains. We did not have that at all tonight. They were all catch the ball and you're tackled within a yard. And that's still the smoke screen, I think, hopefully.
And we'll leave it at that. Awesome. Well, guys, Evan, Dustin, debut episode of the post-game show for the Miami Dolphins on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I thank you both for coming on. Obviously, this will be a weekly thing, probably start of the season. We may do this next week. Depends. I think we may. It's fun. But it will be every Sunday night. And of course, it depending on the schedule, of course. But we'll also have Justin, JPF Scout, will be a regular on the show as well. It's going to be a fun show. So everyone who's tuned in, thank you for watching the Fins Talk Sports Network debut episode of the Dolphins post-game show. Join us every week after the game to get some instant reaction. Join us on the conversation on the chat. Steve, Ralph, the Dolphins Realtor, everybody, thank you all for tuning in.
Don't forget Cap for Life. Come on.
I said Cap for Life. I was going there. Jeez, always trying to get ahead of me. Don't forget to hit that, smash that like and subscribe button to Fins Talk Sports Network. We have Monday night. We'll continue Dolphins coverage with Fins Talk Overtime with me and Brett. We got great guests. We got Scooter, and I make sure I get this right. Let's see, Brian Catt from the Fin side will be on as well as guests. So I'm excited about having those guys. Then we have Miami Heat, the Goon Squad with Alex Atiachisco. We got two very good guests on that day as well. We have goodness gracious, Wes Goldberg.
Bottom up, fins up.
Well, wait a second, I'm not going there. That's Thursday. Wednesday is Wes Goldberg from the Alex. Come in for a second. Remind me these people here. My mind's flustered. Alex, get back in here. What's our unmute yourself.
He was taking a nap. You woke him up.
Oh man, you woke me up. No, Wes Goldberg from I believe it's the All You Can Heat or no, or Locked On Heat. Locked On Heat.
Locked On Heat. Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Give him hell.
Sorry,
Come on,
Wes.
That's right. And we have more guests coming on as well. We're excited about that. Now, and then, of course, Thursday, Bottoms Up, Fins Up podcast with Mike the Hebrew Hammer Brown and his dad, Lewis. They just completed their 200th episode of Beer Sports Whatever. It was their final episode, so congratulations to them. I was on the show this past week. I may be on next week as well. They're a great pair of guys. More Dolphins content, absolutely. And of course, Huddle Up and Wait with Brett Lagasse and Dave Stager with special guest Lori Fitzpatrick. And of course, Fins Talk today on Saturday. And of course, coming up, I think on the 29th, we got overtime. We have the fantasy football special, the draft live with some of the team members here at Fins Talk Network. So other than that, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button. And most importantly, as always, Fins up. We'll see you next time.